Stitches Quilting, and today we are working on We Are All in This Together quilt, and we are going to actually be working on the home quilt block. So this quilt has, and this is what the home quilt block looks like. It's a little block and it has a heart in the middle, and it's so cute. And we've got this without a heart where it's just a window. And then we've got lots of little people here that go with this block. And this block is the pattern is as a quilt, it's as a table runner, and it's as a pillow. So it is all just super fun. And I'm going to make sure I'm muted over on this computer. Hello, Michelle from Texas, and hi, Liz. It's so good to see you guys. I know some of you guys have already gotten your patterns yet, but I wanted to just make sure and that you're probably already, maybe working on things. I'm definitely working on lots of these little blocks, and I'm going to show you how I've been cutting them. So I've been using a little design board to kind of lay out my pieces, but let me go ahead and hold on for just one moment. I'm going to make sure that this actually looks correct. This is my little space for the little people block right here, and how I kind of line up my the way the blocks work. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube and you want to know where to go ahead and get this pattern, it's called the We Are All in This Together quilt. And anyway, so it's a pattern that you can purchase. It's only $8.99, but it'll send you the link for that, and on YouTube it'll be in the description of the YouTube video. So, but let's get to making this quilt block, because oh my gosh, they're just so cute, and I love the little house quilt block, and I love it with the heart in the middle. Although I did not design this quilt so that all of the little house blocks. Oh, let me go back where I can see comments. I'm sorry, I have to switch around a few different things on the computer. Let's see here. We got Melody from Texas. We've got Josephine. Hi, Josephine, in Carver. And we've got Jane from South Wales. Hi, Jane. I know that she purchased the pattern. We are also doing this as a community quilt. And I know Liz purchased the pattern, and Melody. And you guys, I just want to thank you so much for supporting me as I have my little quilt business and an online business. I have an online quilt store, and then I also write patterns. So I have the Live Well, Live Strong quilt pattern that's behind me about women's health and wellness. And most of the stuff I write or do is sentimental things. And so I just love all of you guys and all of your support and love as I do this, and we all do this thing together. So, because we certainly have a lot of fun, and I know that you guys have been in this together with me. And that's kind of what this quilt all represents. So we're doing a community quilt. So if you want to, you can ship me either a people, a person, or a little house. And we're actually going to make a community quilt, because we've certainly been doing this from around the world. And there's so many of you guys that have actually made the heart quilts. I have one of mine right here. It's been really rainy, so I haven't had my heart quilt out on my front door. But we've all made our heart quilts, and we've hung them outside. But you can see how mine has the hanger in it. Not outside, but sometimes just in the window. But this one I kind of put on my front door. And we've been hanging heart quilts in our windows to show our love and support for everybody out there. Shelly, thank you for sharing. And here's my and Shelly sent me the little pocket prayer quilt, which then I made the love pocket quilt. And I love in this pattern how we can make the love pocket quilt. Instead of foundation paper piecing, you guys can piece it together. So Shelly, I still have your little pocket prayer quilt, and I put it and carry it with me every single day. So, and I hope that you guys have actually made some of, some of these for other people too. So, and that's one of the really neat things, is that this square right here, that we've done it as our love pocket quilt, is actually the exact same size for the window of the house quilt block, which I designed that intentionally so that we could kind of be part of the love and everything else that we're doing. So let's get back to the pattern and everything that we're doing here. So let me go ahead. I'm just making sure my little space is cleared off. Let's shift the camera. Does anybody have any questions Yes, I do love it, Shelly. I definitely do. So that's for sure. Okay, we have the overhead camera. And I want to show you how I've been piecing everything. I've been using these little design boards, and I just kind of lay out the pieces. So I kind of go through phases and of cutting pieces that are ready to be pieced together. And I just place it on this design board. Now, if you don't have a design board, just use a piece of flannel fabric, which I'm sure you have, and lay it on a cookie sheet or any type of flat surface that you can use. So this is how I've been doing it for the house quilt block. And then at the same time I cut out things for the house quilt block, this is for the little people quilt block. I normally have pieces of the background fabric here. And I've been using the bleached denim fabric for all of my pieces for my background, but you guys could use just any kind of fabric. But this is a bleached denim. It's a solid fabric, and I actually have this as for yardage for sale if anybody's interested in that. But I think it's fun to use lots of different backgrounds and lots of different colors. I'm using solids because I've got lots of solids. In fact, I will show you my solid stash of all my different solid pieces. I'm gonna bring it over here, but this is a bin of all of my different solid fabrics and stashes of colors. And these are just kind of, because you know, I have a quilt store, so I have an online quilt store, and so this is just kind of one of my little bins so that I don't have to pull things off of bolts of fabric, because I actually have bolts of fabric. But how I've been cutting mine, I want to show you this real fast, is I go ahead and I cut them. And you can see I want to do, like, I want one of these little pink guys, or a pink house and a pink person. You can see I kind of lay them up at the same way. I have different various colors of grass for underneath the people or underneath the house. And then I know I want like 3 of this, one of these pink people in the table runner, the pillow, the quilt, etc. You know what I mean? And then I put in like a purple, a darker purple, kind of a mustard yellow, some greens. This is more of a hot pink. And then down here I also have some completed house roof blocks that are just in sections or whatever. But all of these are in the same order, and same thing over here with the people. So they're all kind of in the same order, so I can just kind of pick it up and just start making what I want. This actually is for the little heart block. And so, but that's how I organize things. This is for the sides of the window. Here's my background fabrics right here. I've only got one piece left, so I've got to cut more backgrounds for all of my things. Now, another thing, these are my instruction sheets that I have for the cutting of the fabric. I kind of keep these handy in a spot, and then just kind of cut everything at once. But I want to show you, because we're going to work on the house and the little roof right here. And so I updated, and we're going to talk about how to do, there's half square triangles and then there's half rectangle triangles. So we are actually, this is going to help you with a new technique, and it's called a half rectangle triangle. And I'm going to teach you some of those techniques today. All right, so let's go ahead and just set this over here. That's how I organize it. How do you guys organize it? So let me know how you guys organize your stuff and kind of get this stuff working and going and all that kind of stuff. So let me know how you guys do it. I do have the step out instructions. So these are the instructions on how to put together the home quilt block. And we're going to talk about that today. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Except I don't have an extra one of these. So I think I'm going to unpick this. You guys, I can't believe I wasn't ready for our video. I'm going to probably unpick one of this out because I don't have a heart pre-made, and I want to make sure. This is like really sad. Okay, it's fine. I won't do it with the heart in there. I got to stop. I love it with the heart in there, but I've got to do some with just the window. So let's just do that. It'll make the video faster. That's what I should be doing anyways. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is for the half rectangle block, okay, which is coming from this right here. And you're kind of told exactly what the dimensions of this are. So I've got this cut, and it's cut to the exact dimensions that it says in the pattern. And you guys, I'm sorry that this pattern is for sale, but it does take a lot of work to go ahead and do all of these things. So this is our little half square rectangle. And what you're going to do, let me get my shorter ruler here. I need just a little bit more light, but that's okay. We're going to work on that later. But so I have two of these stacked together, but let's just take one piece of fabric. So you're cutting, and let me actually find a square of fabric. And I think it's fun to use prints and things like that. I have so many fabrics around me right now. Let's go ahead and cut a square. I want to show you guys what a square looks like. Here, we'll just use this little half square triangle right here, okay? So this is just a scrap of fabric, and I'm going to show you what it's like to when you have your half square triangles, okay? So we're going to just trim along here, and which works out great because I want you guys to feel comfortable with this. So this is a half square triangle, which I could have done this for the pattern, but I really think that the half rectangle triangle is more attractive. So what we do is if we have a half square triangle, we start with a square, okay? Here's a square right here for you. And then we put the points on the cutting mat, or we line up the points on our ruler, and then we cut this in half. And this gives us a half square triangle, okay? The acronym for it in quilting is an HST. So a half square triangle. So now we're going to introduce a new vernacular, all right, is called the half rectangle triangle. And you know what? There's just times that you need to have this, and this is a great time to use this. So you can see here, I have a rectangle, and we are going to cut this in half on the diagonal, and then we will have what we need for the half rectangle triangle. So don't be overwhelmed by this. It's the same as our half square triangles, and we cut it in half on a diagonal, all right? So let's get started. So I just want to introduce this to you, and it's good to know how to work with different techniques of fabrics, okay? So I have cut this in half. I'm going to lay this on my design board because it's going to be part of the roof. But let's go ahead and get started. I want to make one of these pink houses, but I am actually going to, the first step that you do is we're going to sew this unit right here. Our little center unit, 1, 2, and 3. But we're going to be, let me stop showing you guys the one with the heart in it. So 1, 2, and 3. So those are the 3 pieces we're going to do. Since I have this all laid out as pink, I am just going to randomly, I don't know, what color looks good with the pink as the window? Should we do how about the mustard? Does that look good? No, I don't know. You guys, let's not overthink this. Let's go with the purple. So I'm going to pull this purple fabric out, and we're going to just put it in a purple window. All right, so that looks good. And then I'm going to grab one of these as my roof. You know what? I'm actually going to cut one for navy blue. I wanted to make some more navy blue blocks, roof blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that right now. So let's just lay this down, because with the purple and the pink, I just think navy blue and the green kind of calms it down. So let's go ahead and just lay this here. And I also found, as I'm cutting this, I will do a video on just how to cut your, and let me just make sure I've got the right size here. I'm going to lay this down, how to cut your roofs, but how to cut out all the fabrics. Yeah, I just want to make sure I was remembering. I've been cutting so much, but you know, when you're on live video, you have to kind of question yourself, and are you thinking things through accurately? Okay, let me go ahead and line this up. So I'm just cutting out a new roof, because with this combination, this is what we're going to want to be. So these little squares are finished off at And let's go ahead and lay this down right here on my little design board. This is the best way that I have found that's the easiest way. So my little house is going to be pink house with a purple window, green grass. Maybe I'll go to the dark green so it kind of comes down some of those other colors. And then my backgrounds. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this. The instructions in the pattern say to sew this top section to the window. So we're going to do the top section of the house to the window, and let's go ahead and just stitch this together. Everything is sewn at a 1/4 inch seam, and I feel like everything's pretty accurate. What color house are you guys making? And I think it's so fun. The other thing that we're going to start sewing together, let me go ahead and grab my little pressing pad, or maybe this needs to just be pressed. That was on the fold. Let's go ahead and press that down. Move the iron over there so I don't burn myself. So I'm also going to sew together the side of the house with the background fabric. I just think house blocks are just so, I don't know, are they kind of charming for you? Hello, Wendy from Canada. I just think sometimes piecing blocks can be just so relaxing. And I especially appreciate these little house blocks. Okay, so I'm sewing together the two sides right here of the house. And then we're going to add this bottom section to the bottom of the window. I'm kind of string feeding these together. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and do this next little section. Alrighty. And let's trim off this part of our string feeding. So on this one, I'm going to, this little section is slightly larger from the bottom of the house to the window. So we're going to sew on that other section right there. And then we're going to put this little house, the main part of the house, the window unit, completely together. These sew together so quickly, you guys. They really do. And it's just so fun. And I have this, we should actually design a wall hanging for this. We've got a quilt. It comes as, the pattern comes as a quilt. It comes as a quilt. Oh, and I'll show you another thing that I've been doing. Let's go ahead and press this. I'm sorry, I should probably press the back first, just as I'm bringing those together. And I am using just a little bit of starch when I am working on this. So I'm going to lay this to the side. Let's go ahead and set the seams of these guys right here. Here we go. And let's press this open. I'm going to press everything over to the darker side of the fabric. And I love this pink color. You guys, it's so fun to pull out scrappy fabrics and make your houses. You need just such a small quantity of fabric for this. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach this. So here we have our house unit with the window. Now we're going to sew on the sides of the house to the window. I just love pulling out. I don't know about you guys, but I am so sentimental when I pull out my fabrics that I have used in other projects, and it brings back such a flood of memories. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and press this together, and I'm also going to make sure that what I'm doing is it's going to fit on there. So let's go ahead and pull out just a couple pins. All right, here we go. I've got my pins right there. And I'm going to just kind of pin this a little bit. It's always good to pin just a little bit as you start piecing different things together. And I do want this segment. Now this tells you what size that this should be. So this should measure 3 3/4 long. So I'm going to just measure on my cutting mat and make sure, so I'm exactly at that. So I want to make sure that this is fitting that. And if I need to just have a tiny bit of stretch to that, but I want to make sure that this completely fits that unit. Okay, so let's go ahead and stitch that on there. So the instructions, the pattern instructions, oh, that is so funny. My bottom thread is low. Let's see how low it is. It's low, you guys. I'll switch out one of my bobbins. Let's just see if I can do this last little bit. tell me what color thread you guys typically piece with. This is silly. I should just put in a new bobbin. Okay, let's put in a new bobbin. Isn't it funny when you have to put it? Hi, Dolores. How are you? We've got Kay from Alabama. The quilt is so adorable. I absolutely love this quilt. So we're making the little house block right there. Let's go ahead and put in a new bobbin. When you piece, tell me, you guys, what colors of fabric, colors of thread do you actually piece with when you're quilting? Typically I like to use white, but a cream is just fine for me. Okay, so let's go ahead and just feed this through because I definitely couldn't get it to feed the whole way through. And I'm running out of, I'll show you guys. Let me show you here. I'm really low on my Aurifil white thread right there. I'm almost out. I have another one ready to spool up there, but it's kind of fun to get to the end of a thread, isn't it? It just feels good. Okay, so there's that side put on there. We're doing the sides of the house. So we're making a pink house with a purple window right there. But what thread do you guys typically piece with? Sometimes I do gray, like a lighter gray, or I piece with white. Sometimes I piece with cream. What is your go-to color when you piece? Sometimes a light blue or a light green cucumber. Gosh, there's so many different alternatives for piecing, and especially when you're just making things with such beautiful bright colors. Okay, look, isn't that darling? So that's that main unit of the house. Let's go ahead and pull this out. I will fill up my bobbin later. Okay, and I might spray starch this just a little bit. And once again, you want to stop right here and look at the pattern and make sure that we've got this sized at the right size. So this quilt block finishes at 4.5 inches by 6.5 inches. So right now is a good time to check and see if you're at that 4.5 inches. And I'm perfectly there. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? And this one is about 3 3/4, which I'm perfectly there too. So look at how nice that is. This pattern pieces together very accurately. Let's go ahead and put the grass at the bottom of our house. It's hard for me to not put a heart in every single one. You guys, isn't that funny? I mean, I just love the heart in there. And on the table runner, there's a little row of hearts on each side where you just piece together hearts. It's just so darling. But what is your go-to thread? Let's see. Jane says, I'm doing a floral theme house and person to send to me. Oh, and Jane is in South Wales, you guys. We're going to have, so we're trying to do this as a community quilt too. And I thought what we would do is put this in a quilt show and put the number of places and countries that these blocks came from, because I've got a worldwide following. So it's a lot of fun to see all the different places. And I absolutely adore Jane from South Wales. Jane, what time is it in South Wales right now? I know this is a good time for me to go live for you, for us to catch time together. So tell me what time it is. Let's see here. I'm making string quilts and she's using up the thread that she doesn't usually use and get rid of it. I agree. I like getting rid of my older threads too. Okay, so that looks absolutely beautiful. Doesn't it look so cute? I don't know why I'm just so intoxicated with this. Okay, now we're going to get to the roof part. Okay, so the roof part, oh, that's so cute. You guys, I just love this thing. Okay, so the roof part is where we're going to use our half rectangle triangle. It's an HRT, okay? This is our half square triangles, which is an HST, is often the acronym used for this. But what we're using is a half rectangle triangle. So we have taken a rectangle, it tells you the size to cut in the pattern, and you have cut it from point to point, and I already did that for you, okay? So let's go ahead and set this aside. We're gonna do a navy blue roof here. And I am actually going to put this together, I think on here. Maybe I'll do it on the mat, okay? Now, this can be a little tricky, but don't be overwhelmed by this, okay? You can do it, I promise you. Okay, let me show you how to do this. We are going to, oh, and I have some other roofs right here. Let's go ahead and pull out another, oh, here's a navy blue roof, but we have to construct it anyways, okay? Here I've already pre-assembled some of my roofs. So I want to show you, this is what it will look like when your triangle is pieced on there, okay? I want you to look at this very closely. When we piece this on here, we are piecing about a 1/2 inch in. So from this edge, let me bring this up closer to the camera. From this edge right here to the raw edge of this triangle is 1/2 inch. But I want you to notice that when you're doing the stitching, you are stitching 1/4 inch down to the exact point of your roof, okay? So I want you guys to notice that, and I have tried to make a beautiful illustration for you in the pattern, okay? So on this pattern, I am telling you to go 1/2 inch in and 1/2 inch up, and we're going to show you this, and you're going to have about 1/2 inch tail hanging off right here, okay? So you can see I've tried to illustrate this for you. I've made these two pieces of fabric transparent in a way so you could see what was going on underneath, and you can see that you're going to stitch right down into that corner, okay? So let's go ahead and get with that. All right, so I'm going to show you, hopefully well, I think I'll do this on here. Wait, let me think about this. I've got other cutting mats. Hold on for 1 second, ladies. Well, let me grab this cutting mat right here. This is such a cute cutting mat. Hold on 1 second. Oh dear, I don't want to hit that camera. Okay, I'm under the table. Sorry, ladies. Okay, I don't want to move too many cameras and things like that. Okay, this is a new cutting mat I have, but I actually want to lift this up so you can see it. So let me take the plastic off of this cutting mat. Okay, so this is a new cutting mat for me, but I want to lift this up. Oh, you know what I could use? Okay, I could use that. It's pretty yellow. But I just thought of something else I can use too. Let me use this right here. Okay, I'm going to use this table. I don't know, maybe the rotary mat. Oh, looks like I've spilled something on it. Okay, that's kind of gross. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to lay this right here, because I want to hold this up a little bit higher so you guys can see it on the camera. Let's press this, my background, my rooftop though, really fast, okay? Because it's looking a little hanky there. Okay, because I want this to be really well understood. And remember, this is your little house. You can make it any way you want. Okay, so, hey, what did you guys do this weekend? Oh, it's 7:30 in South Wales right now. Okay, thank you. Thread goes bad. So yeah, I agree. Your thread can go bad over time and get old, but I believe, Dolores, in using up my things too. Okay, so we are going to lay our little half square rectangles like this on the quilt. All right, let's lay this one over here that's already sewn, because I want you guys to be able to see what that looks like. All right. Now, what we are going to do is, if I line up this is 1 inch increment right here. If I line this up, what we are going to do is you're going to lay this on here. So it is about a half. Let me bring this down for 1 second, and then I'll bring it back up. But we're going to lay this on there. So a 1/2 inch. You can see I've used up 2 of these squares right there. And then we're going to bring this down here, because remember, our 1/4 inch seam is going to stitch right straight down there. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull this down just a little bit more. Okay, so, and let me line up this side. And then I'm going to pin this. So don't be overwhelmed by this, you guys. You're going to get it. It'll just take a minute to get it, okay? All right, that's what it's going to look like. let me use a pin here. I am a 1/2 inch in from this seam, that side of it, and I'm a 1/2 inch in from over here. And, you know, sometimes when you cut rectangles, which I hope I pulled them from one square, but this one looks a bit longer. This is actually more accurate. This one, I think, when I did the 1/2 square rectangle, it didn't quite cut all the way. But when you see this, you're going to see, once again, oh, let's fix this one a little bit more. We're right there at that 1/2 inch mark. Okay. So once again, over here, we're at about a 1/2 inch there. We're about a 1/2 inch up, and down here on this tail, you're about a 1/2 inch down, okay? And remember, when you do this 1/4 inch stitch, you're gonna stitch straight down here to the corner. So let's look at the illustration again. You want this, the tail part, to kind of go right down towards the center of that little there on the pattern. So I'm going to move this over just ever so slightly. Let me do this down here. And because we're going to have that stitch right down to the corner. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So we're going to have the stitch just straight down to the corner. All right, does that sound good? So you can see, let me go ahead and do the stitching. Let me put the pins in it. I find if I just put 2 pins in it, I kind of want to get myself, bring up into this sewing. I have 2 different sewing zones. This is kind of my filming sewing zone. And then I have another sewing zone where the fabric room is, where all the inventory is, where I ship fabric out on bolts. Does that make sense? I have another sewing zone down there. And I'm feeling like these pins are really fat. That one's crooked. You don't really need to pin this many. Once you get the feel of it, it goes so fast. And I actually, as you can see right here, I stitched a whole bunch of my little roofs all at the same time. All right. And if your angle is slightly different from my angle, no big deal. Okay. So now let's take this over to the sewing machine. We're going to do a 1/4 inch seam here. And then we're going to fold it back. So, you can start stitching on the tail, this little area that's higher up right there. Because it'll help you line up that 1/4 inch seam. And I'm going to show you that. And I tried to show you that in the pattern. And then once again, we're trying to go right straight down. I should have had another camera just right here on the sewing machine. I just don't have that one set up right now. We'll do this again. But you guys, don't be overwhelmed by this. You guys can do these things, okay? There's that one. I'm going to turn this around. And I'm going to start sewing this one so it comes right up that seam. And we're going to bring it right up here. So, in essence, what you're going to see is when these are folded back, this is folded back at 3/4 of an inch. Now, had I done the 1/2 square triangle, it would have looked like this. And it would have just looked like a flying geese block. You know what I mean? And I don't know, it was just so pointy. I mean, it's okay for a house. Maybe I should have made the pattern easier for you guys. But you know what? I just loved the look where it was just a little bit more graduated than such a drastic, you guys can do whatever you want. If you want to do 1/2 square triangles on this, do 1/2 square triangles on yours. And maybe we should change the pattern so that the pattern has some 1/2 square triangles roofs and some of them are the 1/2 rectangle triangle. Okay, let's take these out. We should do that. We should do that because everybody has different houses, right? Okay, let's press this. All right. Let's go ahead and go right here. We're going to press this back. Okay, we're going to press this side back. It just doesn't feel natural, but you guys, it's so good to get some experience with different things. Okay, so now we need to square up this little block. Okay, this side looks great. Look, I didn't go quite to my corner there. I should have gone more to my corner. Right into there, okay? And same thing over here. I should have gone straight into that corner. I wasn't watching as carefully as I was stitching. Okay, but that's fine because this is going to get eaten up anyways with the 1/4 inch seam. All right. So now we're going to turn this upside down like that. Okay. So you guys, if you want to do half square triangles, they would be 2.5-inch square. I'll add that to the pattern. We'll just have to add something fun. Okay, so now we're going to square off our roof. All right? And if you need rotary cutting circle things, I think I'm out of stock right now, but I'll get some more from the warehouse. We're going to trim off that little edge there. Okay, so there's that one. And then I'm going to just square this off. And I've been leaving, you could also, if you want to, here we go, let's rotate this. And we're going to want to square off that little ditty. But you guys, I think it's fun to learn something new in the patterns. And if you want to do it as a half square triangle, go right ahead. Okay, but that's the roof. All right, but this is going to get eaten up anyways in the pattern. So now let's add our roof to the top of our house. And you can see that fits there perfectly. And you can trim off this excess fabric if you want. But I find like leaving a little bit of structure in that roof, I kind of like it. So let's go ahead and sew this roof on top of here. Look, I'm going to run out. Guys, I'll move my sewing machine over. Let's watch me run out of white thread. Isn't this fun to use up the things we have? I just love it. Okay, so once again, we're going to sew this from here to here. Look, it's going to eat it up. It's going to be all gone really soon. But really, any kind of color thread. But yes, Dolores is right. We want to use up our threads because threads can get kind of brittle and old and maybe not hold it. But, you know, don't feel that way though too, because remember, we've got really old quilts that have very, very old fabrics and old threads that are still holding together. Okay? It is ideal to have fresh thread, but, you know, don't overthink yourself in the world. Okay, so there we go. Look at how cute that looks. And once again, I have a little tiny gap right there. This one does not, because I did not go all the way over to that little corner. But remember, that's going to get eaten up with fabric, okay? When we do our 1/4-inch seam and join these together to each other. Okay, let's go ahead and let's press this. Oh, it's so cute. I just love it. I don't know. It's just so fun to piece little things. And let's put our piece of our background up at the top. It's kind of like the sky. And we're going to sew this just right across. Okay. So if you guys want to, please send me a block for the community quilt. I can't wait to see all the blocks that we get. And we'll put it in a quilt show as like our coronavirus global quilt. And I think it's really fun, and we'll have it kind of be like a fun thing. And then maybe then later we'll give it to somebody special. I don't know. We'll figure it out, okay? But we're going to let it, because there's different quilt shows that are actually asking for designers to design quilts that are kind of related to this time. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this off. Once again, my little thread cutter on the sewing machine fell off, and it's down in there with my bobbin. I've got to go take this machine in to get it serviced. So I've got all these extra threads, and I love looking at these little quilt blocks, you guys. Oh my gosh. But it's been so busy, I actually have somebody working with me again. And I want to thank you guys for that, because it provides a job for somebody else. So, but I've got somebody helping me ship out orders and shipping out everything. And I can't tell you how wonderful that is, because my last employee, she was immunocompromised, so we just could not work during that whole time. Look, isn't it so cute? Let's go back to the front camera. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love you so much. Look at how cute that little house is. I love this pink and the purple and that navy blue and the green. And here we have this little house block. You guys, I carry these house blocks around with me everywhere. Did Ellie wake up?
Not yet.
Okay. We have a little puppy here as visiting, and here is, look with the hearts. Isn't it so cute? We should show Kona on the live. Okay, you guys, aren't these so cute? You know, doggone it. And then right here, we've got some of the little people blocks. But yeah, I've got different sewing stations of different one of these, so I can move them around the house. You guys here, check out, I should actually show you guys one of mine. But this is Ashley, and she is here. Ashley is my daughter-in-law. It's Ellie's mommy, and it's really fun. And this is their little puppy, Kona.
He's Kona.
Kona's so cute. But yeah, you guys are keeping us busy. And we've got Lady laying down here. I'll have to show you guys my other dogs. We have Corey and we have two little Cavalier puppies. And it's really cute because, Liz says I'm going to go nuts when all the blocks start coming in. You guys, I hope so. Because I want us to have an amazing community quilt. But I also want us to have these quilts as something that's a reminder of what we're doing. And whether we have a table runner of it, whether we have a pillow of this or a small wall hanging, no matter what you make, I think that this is just a valuable thing because here we are all outstretched with our arms open and with our little houses, with our hearts, and with our little homes where we've kind of had to operate our businesses, whether we're working from home, teaching kids at home. And I'm anxious to make some of the hot pads with the little house block on the ends and doing, because everybody's cooking right now. I actually I've been gardening, you guys. I'll take a picture. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. I've been gardening, but Ashley's inspired me to garden because I have the blackest thumb of all thumbs. But she planted a garden last year and I saw all yes, Dolores, you're right. That's my grand dog, and he's a sweetie pie. But and she got tomatoes and all those things. And yes, Dolores, the Quilt Guild has canceled things, but they are doing a virtual QuiltCon. So I'll see if we can get this admitted to QuiltCon. I will get really creative with what we're going to be doing, you guys. Okay, so we're going to have a lot of fun. Jane, you have never used starch. What should I look for? Okay, Jane, I'm going to do a tutorial on homemade starch, but you don't need really too much starch. So don't worry about the starch, okay? Just sometimes it makes it easier to piece together your blocks. But I have a homemade starch recipe for you. You can look it up online, but we're going to do a tutorial of some homemade starch, and I've got some quilt tops. Oh my gosh, I have so many plans for you guys. It's just crazy and a lot of fun. So we're going to have really a lot of fun. I can't even tell you. So anyways, if you can, send me a quilt block. Send me a house or people, whatever you want to do. Make yourself your own. We are all in this together because this is a global event, and everything that we're going through, it is definitely a global event. And I just love you guys so much. I really, really do. And I'm going to keep carrying these around. I mean, I know I'm a nut. I mean, sometimes I take it up and put it on my nightstand to go to bed. I know, I'm such a nut, but I just love looking at them and I just love touching them, and I gotta stop it. Anyways, I'm just such a sentimental person, but I think we all are. So anyways, it's so fun to do all the things that we're doing. Okay, you guys, as part of the pattern, you get quilt markers that come free with your pattern. You print them off, but I made them different so that they're lighter for you to print off on your own home printer, so it won't take up as much color. Ink, I'm getting smarter. I'm trying to get better because you guys all give me the most amazing feedback. Okay, I'm going to pop off. I'm going to go get some more work done. We've got a whole bunch of orders to get shipped. And I've got more things to do for the day. I've got to sew more people and houses. Ashley's going to help me with a little bit of sewing too. And we are going to just have a great day. So I will be back on live Wednesday at noon and Friday at noon this week. I am going to actually introduce some new times. I think I'm going to go live straight from the Everyone Can Quilt Facebook group in the evening times. Because Facebook is really promoting groups right now, and we'll do some of the lives where the Facebook rooms in the Facebook Everyone Can Quilt group. So I'm going to be introducing some new things there. Okay, you guys, I love you tons, and you guys have a lot of fun. Remember that I'm here. You guys can call me, text me, let me know anything that you want. But I definitely think that this quilt represents a lot of things that we're going through, whether it's supporting and loving people and loving all different colors of people and all different kinds of things. So you guys, it just represents so many different things of all of the worldwide global things that are going on. So I love you guys, and thanks for going through this journey with me, because you guys have all inspired me, motivated me, and helped me as we've gone through the whole coronavirus thing and this pandemic and everything else that we see and all the other things going on. I hope I've been there for you too. Oh, look! The thread ran out. I'm probably going to save this. Did you know that you can take off the bottom of an Aurifil thread? Anyways, if you can't find the end of the thread. Okay, this is fun. This went on live film. Okay, guys, I'm such a sentimental little goofy ball. All right, we'll talk to you guys later, but I did run out of the white thread, and so I'm gonna have to pull out another one. And remember, we want to use up all of our thread and not just hoard it, and use up our fabrics too. So I'll see you guys later. Have fun. We'll see you a little bit later on Wednesday at noon, but I want to see all your beautiful things that you're making in the Everyone Can Quilt group. Please share your pictures. It just inspires me. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.